Just go away. Leave us to ponder our grief.
Do you know anything about the enslaving Ultron?
We know nothing of this species that you mentioned. However, while we are on the subject of evil and powerful species, we have encountered a particularly gruesome race that seemed to come from the direction of Arcturus. When we hailed them, they responded with mighty weapons that sent our delegation to their deaths. Lucky fools. The aliens' dark, crusty battleships are capable of guiding spinning mines into almost any location. And should an enemy get too close, a fiery corona emerges to inflict fearsome damage.
On your weak spots.
In our skirmishes with the race who called themselves the Core Ah,
We've heard that
we
song
found that
before.
by using our own shielding capability, we could sweep through the mines, absorb the corona, and then get close enough to the dark ships to give a lick of our own. In truth, however, they are very powerful and ruthless. When the Core Ah started to press toward our home world, we thought that our deserved punishment was being administered. But then, a mystery? They suddenly became disinterested and veered away. Bah, confounding frustration. With the Ultron, I could speak knowledgeably on this subject. To have this quality torn from our grasp emphasizes how meaningless our existence really is. This lack of meaning is what drives my species to the serious contemplation of a quick end.
Alright, I think we get the idea. Yes, that really is a pity, so what more do you know about the Core Ah?
Your query once again painfully reminds me of the Ultron and what it was for the universe. I could tell you all and correct all that is wrong in the universe. All I can tell you is that the Core Ah lived to kill. Their stated purpose is to seek out new life and new civilizations.
Just like us.
And then annihilate them.
Sort of like us.
We seem to qualify as such, and that is why it is puzzling that after pursuing us with some tenacity, they suddenly turned away and headed toward Craterus. And all this speculation would be unnecessary if only we had saved the Ultron. It would not have taken much. A diving catch, a thrown pillow, even a fuzzy wumpus would have broken the fall satisfactorily. Indeed, a panel convened to analyze the possibilities concluded there were at least 623 ways that the Ultron could have been saved if we had been prepared. Let us cease our discussion concerning these matters.
A truly unique set of events put you in your current state. Am I right?
To say the least. Our past is one of a glorious and proud people, coupled with a cataclysm that rocks the universe to its very core. It all began when the chimps rose from the murky bog, and the Utwig emerged as well. In these primitive times, we cavorted about our world, oblivious to any sort of higher purpose. We took everything at face value. Meanwhile, the tendrils of the chimp infiltrated the vast sky canopies of Faz, and then the veils fell.
Oh dear.
Suddenly, the Utwig were stunned by a collective realization. All immediately and urgently donned veils of every description. Hides, leaves, shells, rocks, even living drells were donned in the early days.
Drells?
You see, The face is the mechanism that expresses many of the primitive qualities that hinder sentience. Now rid of constant reminders of greed, rage, hatred, and lust, the wisdom of the Utwig was no longer hampered by constant reminders of the primitive urge. Over many generations, mask etiquette was refined to a rock-solid foundation of our society. Sure, the morality riots were expensive, both in lives and infrastructure, but the result was better mask regulation. Specification from your basic mask of grueling but necessary activity to the most highly decorated countenance of stellar representation. These were clearly defined, recognizing the importance of flexibility. Clear-cut and efficient procedures for revision and redesign dealt with the few anomalies. From that moment, when we covered the source of our intellectual oppression, we knew that it was a grand purpose that defined our destiny. Are you still listening? Our entire development as a sentient species was coordinated to coincide with the appearance of a remarkable device, the Ultron. We were oblivious to its tragic implications.
Yeah, absolutely fascinating. But what exactly do you mean by tragic?
In order for you to truly understand the situation, you need to know more about the Ultron and its unique capabilities. You see, when the Druge discovered the Ultron, they knew that it was ours. The Druge were compelled by intrinsic universal direction to take it to where it has always belonged. They brought it to us. Oh, the Ultron!
I get the sense you like this
It
device.
assured total and complete meaning of life for all. The universal. With the Ultron in hand, I could sense not only your motivations and desires, but your purpose. I could act upon these things in ways that would most likely seem mysterious, if not, well, daft.
But it becomes.
Years later, you would herald our participation in your development as the turning point for your species. The Druge were only one of the few to benefit in this way. Even now, they are puzzled by the way we rewarded them for the delivery of the Ultron to its correct place. In 24 years, 2 months, and 3 days, they will all dance the dance of jubilation. Indeed, the Ultron has allowed us to fundamentally change the Druge forever. The Supox, too, received many benefits from our use of the Ultron. They can testify to its power.
You sounds just so whiny, but it's not too annoying, it's more funny. So, yeah, Supox, Druge, haven't met either of them yet. Sounds like things were going pretty well. So, what happened?
Yes, things were perfect. What happened is, well, it's difficult to talk about. But I saw it happen. I witnessed the Chinsral celebration. I felt the Ultron fill the empty place that I did not know was there. I saw the Grand Proctor pass it to, well, they say that the Chief Gru did not know that it was so heavy and slippery. Perhaps it was a combination of factors. Some who have reviewed the records claim it was actually a conspiracy. The Commission investigation officially stated that the Ultron was rendered inoperative by the fall to the ground. Yet many feel that the whole story has not yet been told.
There was a second gunman.
As it struck the ground, I saw its glow fade. And then the painful void incapacitated all. All Utwig immediately donned the mask of ultimate embarrassment and shame, with a vow to wear it forever.
It is pretty ugly.
Bonfires all over Foz consumed all but this mask.